Hey, Money Vikings, want to do a quick video today on the state of real estate and specifically not commercial real estate, specifically single family housing type real estate, residential real estate, where we're, what most of us have experience with or interact with in our lives at some point. So the CEO of Redfin came out today or yesterday and said that, the rest of the economy might be fine, but real estate is definitely in a recession, and I could not agree more. And I think that it will take, it seems to me that it's going to take the next 5 to 10 years for things to work out in the system. So a couple of things, first of all, are happening. So number one, you have millennials, which are a huge generation. They were, they had a late start on a lot of things in life and economically, partly because a lot of them were coming out of college right when the Great Recession hit. So that was a big housing bust type event. And then that, in fact, impacted the employment sort of prospects and the career ladder type thing. That all got worked out, as we know. Things got worked out as they typically do. And then COVID hit. So right when they were about to buy houses, COVID hit, and then housing prices went into the moon, as we've seen. So it's a supply and demand thing, as we know. And, COVID pushed a lot of people into single family homes, probably trying to get away from more densely populated areas. So there's simply not enough, though, housing for the amount of demand for the size of the millennial generation is a huge generation. I think the oldest of them are maybe 40, 41 at this point, maybe down to 30, something like that, 30 to early 40s. Maybe 43, 44 at this point. So those are prime home buying years. And so you have a huge generation that's trying to get into homes. At the same time, at the other end of that, many baby boomers, another huge generation, they own most of the homes, right? And they're not moving. So apparently they're staying put in their houses. They're not downsizing, and that's their right. I mean, they don't have to move. So anyway, but it's creating this supply-demand squeeze. I'm Gen X. We're kind of in the middle, like some weird limbo of whatever. We kind of like got right in under the radar every time something major happened in the world or in the economy. So where do we go from here? So when there is demand and there is a population or a demographic with money, then the demand will, the economy, the marketplace will try to address that need. And so it will. Home builders, where I live in Southern California, all kinds of construction is always going up. I'm not particularly excited about it because a lot of them are huge apartment buildings that are like, they look way too big to me, like huge mega apartment buildings, but it is supply. It's getting supply online, so that there are options, and that takes the pressure off of the system. So there's gonna be a lot of building going on. But building takes time. I mean, that's a year's thing. You don't just throw up buildings. I mean, they go up, but it takes time for that to all work out. So that's going to happen. And then baby boomers, there probably will be a population or a certain percentage of them that will downsize. So huge swaths of them are retiring like literally every week at this point for like the next 5 years. Like, I don't know what the numbers are, but thousands upon thousands of baby boomers are out of the workforce. Absolutely every week on, week off for probably the next 5 to 7 years. So some of them might downsize, right? They might move into a smaller place, and then some of the millennials will come in and buy those houses. So we got that going on. But yeah, and then the other factor out there are interest rates. So interest rates have really made it hard. So housing is in a recession. So I do agree with the CEO of Redfin wholeheartedly on that. It's a very odd thing, but typically with a recession, you'd think that prices would come down, but they're not going to because the supply demand issue with that. So interest rates it's funny, they're high, but they're actually historically on average of where they have been for housing. They've been higher in the past. They've historically, there was a time when interest rates for real estate were, in the teens, which that would blow people's mind today. But you have to compare people's salaries to to the price of housing. And then the other thing is the pressure of inflation with everything else. So people are struggling so much with, just keeping up with insurance, food, all the essentials. And then there seems to also be another little twist, I think, to this reality of housing right now and just the overall economy. This is my theory. It seems to me that the pandemic created a kind of like YOLO, you only live once, on like steroids. So people really have in their mind that, the world, I guess, could change, right? And so people are really, really big into, doing the travel they want to do, getting the car they want, having the food they want, all the stuff. So there's a bit of that going on as well. And the other thing is the ease of commerce. So I've talked to a lot of people, and you have to realize on a massive scale, when you can just go on your phone and swipe and buy something instantly, that's an interesting technology, but it's also can be a dangerous thing. So, there's just a lot going on right now, and it's just something to think about as we move forward in this economy and grow wealth, buy, sell houses, whatever you're doing. But just want to give my 2 cents on that whole concept. It does seem, housing is definitely stuck. So I think it's going to take about 5 to 10 years to work out. Interest rates are not coming down anytime soon, because the Fed definitely has to keep some of that pressure on to keep a downward pressure on inflation. They need to make consuming and buying a little bit more painful, and they have. I think people feel it, but they keep spending, so they keep buying and they keep consuming and more, and so that that drives inflation back up, or at least keeps it elevated, and so the Fed just can't get it pressured down. In hindsight's 2020, of course. They probably should have broken something more aggressively earlier. They tried to do this kind of like ease phase type thing, this soft landing. Maybe in hindsight, and again, it's easy to do hindsight, maybe they should have jacked those up pretty quickly, gotten all the pain over with, and then gotten through it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an economist. I'm just a guy living in the economy and sensing things as I live my life. And but anyway, so those are a few thoughts on that. Tell me what you're doing about housing. Are you staying put? Are you buying a new house? Are you looking? I mean, I look. You think about it. Even if you trade in, even if you cash out some equity and you buy another house, man, moving's expensive. Your insurance costs will probably go up. Your property taxes will go up. So there's a lot of hidden costs to owning and buying that people aren't realizing. Throw in the real estate thing with the NAR settlement, the National Association of Realtors, kind of having these higher fee structures that were a little bit kind of made up. Not that negotiable. Apparently they were always negotiable, but it kind of became groupthink that you would just accept, the status quo. So that's it, guys. There's a lot going on, lots rolling around. I would just say be wise about your choices with real estate purchases right now, investing, selling, and all that. Because it's a bit of a difficult time. So I think we're going to get prices are going to stay elevated for a while. It's going to need time for incomes to go up slowly and catch up a little bit, and so people feel a little more comfortable. It makes sense. I'm not sure if we're seeing a dip in prices because the demand is just so high. Is the issue. You have high demand. And then, the popular places are popular again. People, there is some remote work, but not everybody's remote work. There seems to be people coming back in to fill in office spaces a bit. I do think some form of hybrid work is definitely a permanent thing. But no one, I think this working remotely, I don't know. Is it the future? You let me know. Tell me. What do you think? You think that is going to happen more and more? I don't know. So anyway, hope some of these things help you kind of put things together and think about your own situation. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.